For football fans, nothing beats the feeling of seeing an outfield player forced to go in goal. That moment is pure magic. No metric can quantify that enjoyment whatsoever. Sometimes it ends up being comic, but some actually make some real saves, and for a moment, you could think they are meant for the spot between the posts. So how about we take a look at 10 different times that outfield players were forced to play as goalkeepers. We start in the English Premier League, when Chelsea faced Reading in 2006 at the Majeski Stadium. Just 20 seconds into the clash, Peter Cech collided with Stephen Hunt and fractured his skull, marking a major turning point for the former Czech international. Carlo Cucini, who was Chelsea's second keeper then, was obviously brought in, but he too picked an injury toward the end of the match, and captain John Terry was forced to fit into Cech's huge gloves. He did not concede and helped the Blues to a 1-0 win. Unlike Terry though, Rio Ferdinand was thrown into the deep end when he was forced to wear the gloves, with his first obligation facing a penalty during an FA Cup clash against Portsmouth. Edwin van der Sar went out injured and was replaced by Thomas Kuszczak, who unfortunately saw red while conceding a penalty in the process. Rio was forced to throw on the gloves and help his team. He came close to saving Sully Montari's penalty, but whilst diving in the right direction, he did not get a strong hand on the striker, and the Ghanaian found the back of the net with 12 minutes remaining. In the end, United were not able to claw back as they were dumped out of the competition. We are used to seeing outfield players go in goal for a couple of minutes towards the end of the match. At the Africa Cup of Nations in 2022 though, we saw left-back Chaker Alhadhur play in goal for the entirety of the match. The Les Colocants, as they are known, were without all three of their goalkeepers for their last 16 clash against Cameroon after two tested positive for COVID-19, while one was out with an injury. Many expected Comoros to be battered by the hosts, but Alhadhur put in an unforgettable performance, conceding just twice and denying Cameroon's lethal forward line, including making a world-class double save in the second half. Many will remember his iconic shirt for the match, which he taped his outfield number over the official gold lettering for the goalkeeper jersey. We've also had Serge Aurier play in goal for Ivory Coast in another Africa Cup of Nations clash against Sierra Leone, when his goalkeeper had a pretty bad injury and had to be taken off. The former Tottenham defender, who is also the Ivorian captain, clearly decided to lead by example, replacing Badra Ali Sangare in stoppage time. Aurier, though, did not see much action as they drew 2-2. Terry and Ferdinand are not the only English defenders to have thrown on gloves and taken their spots between the posts. On one of football's biggest stages, the Champions League, Kyle Walker was forced into goal against Atalanta. Manchester City had lost Ederson to injury in the first half, with Claudio Bravo replacing him. The Chilean was however shown red for hauling down Josip Ilicic as he ran through on goal. Pep Guardiola had to find an outfield player, and Walker was the chosen one. You would think he was meant for that role, as he ended up making more saves than the two goalkeepers combined. It was a nervy final 10 minutes for City though, but they did really well considering the circumstances. Walker was exemplary, but we cannot say the same about his England teammate and captain, Harry Kane. We all know the striker is lethal when he is close to goal, but nothing could have prepared us for this. The legendary goalscorer was once called to man the post for the remaining few minutes in a Europa League clash against Asteras Tripoli in 2014, after Hugo Lloris was shown red in the 87th minute. The striker had just scored a hat-trick, and the Spurs were not in any danger of losing the match. Minutes into his cameo in goal, Kane split what should have been an easy save from a free kick and pretty much gifted the visitors a goal. Surely from that day, we know Kane is only effective in front of goal but not his own, and no manager can put the striker in goal even if there's no one else left on the pitch. Speaking of Tottenham, remember when John O'Shea had to step in for Van der Sar in a clash between Manchester United and Spurs in 2007? Van der Sar was stretched off with a head injury, and O'Shea volunteered to stand in for the Dutchman in the remaining 5 minutes. With United leading 4-0, there was not much pressure for the defender to keep out the North Londoners, but he did well. He was called into action in the dying moments of the game when Ferdinand, who was initially supposed to replace Van der Sar in goal, played a short back pass for his teammate, allowing Robbie Keane through on goal. O'Shea read the danger well, and like a seasoned goalkeeper snuffed out the impending threat, charging out of the penalty area to perfectly time a challenge to deny his fellow countryman, much to the amusement of Wayne Rooney. Perhaps it provided a glimpse of future modern goalkeeping, From one defender to another. Dani Alves is known for being a versatile defender and a good one at that, but he also showed us that he can play anywhere on the pitch, including in goal. While playing for PSG, the Brazilian was forced to wear the red goalkeeper kit during a French Cup tie against Sochaux after Kevin Trapp was shown red. His first assignment was to face a free kick, but he was untroubled as the striker fired it wide. Since it was deep in injury time and PSG was leading 4-1, Alves did not get time to show what he can do in goal, and we guess that train already passed, and we might never get to see this. Unlike Alves, when Sheffield United's Phil Jagielka was thrown in between the posts in a clash against Arsenal back in 2006, the Englishman did not have the luxury of a 4-goal buffer to allow for any slip-ups. In fact, Sheffield was defending a 1-goal lead with more than half an hour left at the Bramall Lane. Jagielka had been forced to replace the injured Kenny Paddy, and he made key saves, including a fingertip stop to deny Robin van Persie. What many did not know is that Jagielka had impressed manager Neil Warnock with his goalkeeping skills in training, to the point that the manager did not name a goalkeeper on the bench against the Gunners, which backfired. Or did it? Perhaps the only time it made sense to have an outfield player, particularly a striker in goal in place of a goalkeeper, is when Jan Koller was forced to go in goal during a Bundesliga clash between Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich. Having scored a goal for Dortmund in the match, the giant Czech striker was a natural replacement for Lehmann in goal, since they had used all the subs for the match. Not only was he the tallest on the pitch at 6'8", he actually started his career as a goalkeeper before he was converted into a striker. He managed to make at least 3 saves during the match, and despite losing 2-1 on the day, he did not concede. Are there more instances we did not include in this video? Share them in the comments below. We'll see you in the next video. Ciao!